Hello dear student, welcome back to the series of Python programming. Let's continue with function. Next topic in function is formal and actual parameters in Python. Parameters are of two types, formal parameters and actual parameters. Formal parameters are the parameters which are specified during definition of the function. That means when we are writing def, any function name, and we are writing parameters, that parameters are known as formal parameter. For example, see here in your example, def sum a comma b, return a plus b. So here a and b both are formal parameters. Next is actual parameters. Actual parameters are the parameters which are specified during function call. Actual parameters are actually of four types: positional parameter, keyword parameter, default parameter, and variable length parameter. Let us explore them one by one. First is positional parameters, or we can call it as positional argument. है ना? We have said that whenever we are writing the argument parameters or arguments while calling the function, we call it as arguments. Okay, so positional parameters are the parameters that are passed to the function in the correct positional order. For example, consider the following code. See, we are writing a function result where we are passing two parameters as name and marks. Okay, and then in function we are printing the name of the student and we are calculating the CGPA equals to marks divided by 10, and we are printing the CGPA. Okay, now while calling the function, what we have to do? We have to give the name of the student and the marks of the student, correct? But when we are calling, we have to give in correct order. That means we are calling the function result. So your first parameter should be name and second parameter should be the marks of the student. Okay, then only the output is going to be correct. Now let's do some experiment. Let's swap both parameters. Okay, now same function result, and what we are doing while calling, we will write 95 first and then the name of the student. Now what your interpreter will do? It is going to generate the error. Okay, so that is the positional parameter. Understood? In the same position we have to pass the arguments. Next is your keyword parameter or argument. Now we have seen that in positional parameters, the parameters are capable of identifying the parameter with their specified name. For example, we have seen in the previous slide only that result, name and marks, and then we are printing result name equals to gig, marks equals to 95. Okay, here we are calling the function by giving the parameter name also and the value also. Okay, so we are calling function by their name also and then we are giving the value. So here the output is going to be correct. Now what happen if we swap this? Okay, what we are going to do here, when we are calling the function again result, I'm writing name equals to geek first and then marks equals to 95. What happened? Again the code will give the same output. Why? Here, because we are in keyword parameter, what we are doing, we are giving the name of the parameter also and then its value. So a compiler, if you write ulta also, if you write we exchange their position also, then also your interpreter will understand that this input is for this parameter and this input is for this parameter. So it will give you correct output. Okay. Next is default parameter or argument. Now sometimes it happens that in your definition of the function only you are giving some value to some parameter. So when you are calling the function and you don't give the value to certain parameter, it will take the default value which you have given while declaring your function. Default parameters are the parameters in which we can specify the default value for the parameters in the function definition. For example, consider the following code. Again the same function result name comma marks equals to 95. That means while calling, if I just give the name, it will give me output as proper output, where it will calculate the CGPA also, it will print the name of the student, and it will print the marks, that means CGPA also, correct? So if while calling, if I give both the parameters, both the arguments, if I provide the value, it will calculate for that value. But if we do not provide, it will take the by default value which we have provided as 95. Next is variable length parameter or argument. There might be cases where even developer is not clear of the number of arguments or values a function may receive. In all such cases, we cannot specify the number of parameters in the function definition. Here, even developer know how many number of parameters are there. Okay, so to encounter this issue, variable length parameter comes into picture. Let's understand this with the help of code. See, I'm taking a function def square of numbers, and here I'm passing the first argument, and then I'm writing star arguments. This star arguments means what? It is the number, any number of arguments. Okay, so that means if I write star and arguments, that means the compiler will understand that any number of arguments are going to come. Now then I'm printing the type of argument is type args. Print farg is, that I'm printing whatever the second argument is that I'm printing. Okay, then I'm using a for loop. For each arg in argument, I'm printing the value of each arg. Okay, so that means it is going to print all the values. Now I'm calling square of number, and here I'm passing 4 arguments. Understood? 1, 5, 10 and 15. What this function is doing? This function is what? It is just printing farg is, and then it will go in my for loop and it will print all the values. It will print 1, 5, 10 and 15. Okay, so that means variable length parameters, we can provide any number of parameters while calling the function. Next topic is pass by reference and pass by value in Python. What is pass by value? Any other operations performed will not have any effect on the original value as the argument passed to the function is copied. It only changes the value of the copy created within the function. What is the meaning of this? That means in pass by value, we are passing the value to a function, and if we change the value inside that function, the value which we have declared outside the function, that will not change. Only inside the function that value will change. When you will come out of the function, the value is going to be same. That is called pass by value. For example, see, I'm writing a function and I'm writing it as int equals to int plus 100. That means whatever integer you will pass, the function will add 100 into it. Okay, and then it is going to print that integer. Clear? Next, in my code, I'm writing integer equals to 100. Now I am writing as print before function call integer. What value it will print? It will print 100, correct? Then I'm calling function and I'm passing this int inside that function. Now what output it will generate? Inside the function call, and it will generate int 100 plus 100. It will generate 200. Then after calling the function, I'm again printing after function call int. Now what is the value of int? Is going to be 200 or 100? It is going to be 100. Why? Because I'm just changing the value inside the function. Okay, outside the function our value is going to be the value which we have declared before. See the output. Before function call it is 100, inside function call it is 200, and after function call it is 100. This is called as pass by value. Next is pass by reference. This method passes a reference to the original argument, and any operation performed on the parameter affects the actual value. It alters the value in both function and globally. So here in pass by reference, what happens? We are actually passing the reference to the value which we have declared. So if I change value inside the function call, it will change my value globally. Okay, so for example, see, my function is int, I am appending b to it. Okay, and then printing inside the function call. Now I have declared int equals to a. Before the function call, my int is going to be a. Then I'm calling the function int. Okay.